19 review video. This is quite a tricky review video to do, actually. The reason I say that is because there's so much to talk through and to talk about that I kind of feel like I'm going to forget quite a few things. I was tempted to go over onto Twitter, see what people were saying, but I don't really want that to dictate my thoughts. I mean, the big thing for me is this was a great show. I really enjoyed it from start to finish. I was entertained. This really is one of the best WWE shows I've seen in a long time. Without looking on Twitter, I think that people might be quite negative towards the ending. And I think that people might be focusing too much on that compared to just how great of a show this was. And as I said, from start to finish, really, really enjoyed it. What we're going to do is we're going to go through the matches there, not really in any kind of order. I actually prepared this before Money in the Bank, so that's why the order is what the order is. But we're going to go through each match, and then I've got a few notes to talk about in relation to those matches. And then we will come to our overall rating. If you are watching and you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe because we are back for Raw later, which should be fantastic. Obviously, we get a new Firefly Funhouse as well. And then, of course, we're back for SmackDown Live. And then we're back for UFC. We've got Double or Nothing coming as well. So, loads on the horizon. Make sure that you hit that subscribe and join us. So, let's start, shall we? Tony Nese against Ariya Daivari. Loved how Daivari came out in a car. Thought that was amazing. It's as if like it was WrestleMania. Kind of gave it just a little bit something special. And those kind of moments are really important because you could, if this was a bad show, be under the impression you were watching Raw or something like that. So when they come out and make those little extra efforts, I really appreciate it. I thought the match was very good as well, very competitive. We saw some great moves, a few moments where I thought the match was going to finish, but they were false finishes, and the match continued. Tony Nese basically picks up the victory here. It's what we predicted. Felt a bit too soon to put the title onto Ariya Daivari, but yeah, great match. Would totally be down for seeing a rematch. And maybe we will. Maybe it'll be a rematch at SummerSlam. Next, we got Daniel Bryan and Rowan against the Usos. Again, we predicted this. The Usos getting the victory. Wasn't a title match. And honestly, the Usos, one of the best tag teams out there. So it makes perfect sense for them to pick up the victory here. And again, very good match. I thought Rowan looked like an absolute beast in this. Rowan with like double suplexes, loads of crazy spots. I thought he looked absolutely awesome. So very excited actually for that Daniel Bryan Rowan team. So we'll have to see kind of what happens with this feud going forward. Again, could we be building towards SummerSlam? Who knows? Before I forget as well, a new title is going to be shown on Raw. That has got a lot of people talking. A lot of people on our live stream thought it might be connected to the Hardcore Championship because it's Mick Foley that's going to be showing that belt off. Totally could be connected to the Hardcore Championship. I theorized that it might be like a six-man tag belt. We get a lot of six-man tag matches. So could we get a six-man tag belt? I feel like Hardcore is the favourite option at the moment. But also people were talking about, could we see a European Championship come back? I don't see a need for that. There was also people asking about, could we get like 205 Live tag belts? Again, if we were going to get them, would they debut them on Raw? Probably not. So, I don't know. It's really interesting. Could it be like a women's mid-card belt? Bit like a women's version of the IC Championship. But saying that, would you have Mick Foley reveal it? So, I don't know. I feel like the Hardcore Championship is the firm favourite as to what that title is going to be. Moving on anyway, Samoa Joe, Rey Mysterio. So we got Rey Mysterio picking up the victory. The story here is the fact that Samoa Joe's shoulders weren't down. He definitely had that one shoulder up. The referee still counted it. Yeah, he went ballistic after. It looked like he might have broken his nose. There was a lot of blood coming down. Then, obviously, he made Dominic watch as he destroyed his father, as he destroyed Rey Mysterio. Lots of talk that Dominic's going to start getting involved as Prince Mysterio, which I think is a great name. But we're going to have to see. This is clearly a feud. It's got a long way to go. I thought Samoa Joe was going to retain. I still think he should have because he was absolutely robbed. But, yeah, fun. It was good. It was good for what it was. Next up, Kofi Kingston against Kevin Owens. Thought this was a great match. Really enjoyed it. Kofi Kingston retains, but there was a lot of back and forth. Some pop-up power bombs and a couple of Trouble in Paradises, SOSs. Some really good moments. But yeah, it was good to see Kofi Kingston retain. Kind of feels like it would be a bit too soon to take the title away from him. He only won it at WrestleMania, so is it the right time for him to kind of lose it now? I would think not. So yeah, as I said, good that he retained. Did wonder if Xavier, when he got into the ring, was going to turn on Kofi. Again, I'm glad he didn't. It would feel like the wrong time. But yeah, perfectly fine. Great match. Next, we got Miz against Shane. And Shane wins this by slipping out of his top, slipping out of his shirt. Did you see a couple of the bumps in this? Shane from like the top of the cage went hurtling down to the ring. It was brutal. It really was brutal. There was some brutal moments in this. Miz like slamming the door on Shane. Clearly this feud isn't done yet. Yeah, I'm kind of pleased about that, if I'm being honest, because they keep having matches and they keep delivering. I thought they delivered at WrestleMania. I thought they delivered here. Again, just a solid match. Really solid match. Next, Roman Reigns against Elias. I thought WWE were quite clever in not giving us like a long match here. They had Elias attack Roman backstage with his guitar. Then he came out and did a little song. Then Roman came out, spear, 1, 2, 3. Real short match. But you know what? It was what we needed. Like, we didn't need like this lengthy, no one wants a long Elias match. So Roman against Elias, I thought it was booked very, very well. Next up, Women's Money in the Bank. We got to talk about the fact that Naomi was dressed as a bee. I have no idea why. I don't even know if she knows why. But she came out dressed like a bee. Then also there were some great moments. Nikki Cross, I'm so interested in her character because Nikki Cross was talking about how she needed to embrace the light, but yet she's still coming out like crazed and her music is still crazed, and I think her character is very, very confused at the moment. So I'm interested to see that develop. Carmella's injury, I still don't know if that's real or not. I'm so confused about Carmella's injury. She picked up a nasty injury in this match against Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose, I think, delivering a bit of a drop kick, but it was right to the knee. Carmella had to go out back, get treated, and then come back out again. So I don't know if she was doing that because she went out back. She's like, it's all right, I think I can see this through. Or if that was always the plan. I legitimately don't know. But yeah, it was a great match. Really was a great match. There were some great moments, like there was a ladder here. Naomi was in the middle. She had to like do the splits to escape. The two ladders like colliding together. We also had like Bayley, who was in the middle of a ladder, and then that got closed on her a few times. We had Ember Moon, who was on top of a ladder, delivered a massive eclipse. It was absolutely brilliant. Great spot after great spot after great spot. Great match. Bayley wins. And this was after Sonya Deville got involved. Actually had Mandy Rose on her shoulders, climbed a ladder, got to the top, Bayley managed to get up. They were all face to face. Bayley managed to knock them two down, claimed the Money in the Bank briefcase, and obviously that wasn't the last we would see of Bayley. But it was great. Absolutely loved it. It was the first match as well on the main card, and it really started things off with a bang. After that, we need to talk about Brock Lesnar. In fact, I'm going to come back to this because I feel like this is one of the big talking points, maybe the biggest talking point. So we'll put a pin in that. We will come back to that. Next, we got Seth Rollins against AJ Styles. For me, match of the night. You can see down here, it's very hard to pick between the women's Money in the Bank, the men's Money in the Bank, or AJ Styles and Seth Rollins. I don't know. I legitimately don't know. I feel like if I had to choose between the men's and the women's, I would probably watch the women's again. So just going off that, I feel like the women's was the better of the two matches. That could just be down to the fact that it was first and I was a little bit more awake. By the end of the show, I was starting to feel a little bit drained. So it could just be factors like that. But I thought both of the ladder matches were excellent. But yeah, Seth versus AJ, I've gone with that as my match of the night because those kind of dream matches can sometimes underwhelm. And this one absolutely didn't. There was no rest holds. There was very few headlocks or arm bars or anything like that. This was quite a good pace, a fast pace. And then you got some big moments. You got like an inverted suplex that nearly got Seth a 3 count. There was I can't remember what it was, what Seth did, but he did something and AJ turned it into the Styles Clash. There was just those kind of great moment after great moment after great moment. I really enjoyed it. I really did. And for me, it was match of the night. But the big talking point, a massive curb stomp, and Seth Rollins retained. We've got the two women's matches. Lacey Evans coming out like Lara Croft from a prom. She had like this sparkly green number on, but she was basically looking like Lara Croft. She even had guns that were shooting out Lacey Evans' banknotes. I mean, it was part of this show was just madness. Becky Lynch came out. They had a great match. I've actually written down that Lacey Evans looked like $1 million. She really did. She looked absolutely fantastic in this match. I was so impressed with Lacey Evans. I just really was. I thought she looked brilliant. She came up short though. I still don't really understand because she seemed to get the pin on Becky and the ref just didn't count it. The ref just didn't count. And then Becky managed to reverse it into the disarmer and before you know it, Lacey's tapping. So it was really weird. It was really, really weird. But Lacey Evans a little bit cheated. I'm not sure if she would have won anyway. But bit of a shame that she had to fight Becky first. I think had she have fought Becky second, she might have actually won the title. And that's exactly what Charlotte did. Charlotte-Becky match I thought was brilliant. Charlotte emerged victorious in this match. It did take Lacey Evans coming down and hitting with a woman's right. That did the damage. Becky then, little bit of a flurry. Looked like she might get a little roll. Looked like Becky might pull victory out of the jaws of defeat. She couldn't get it done. She ended up losing. Charlotte wins the title. But then they go OTT. Charlotte and Lacey laying into Becky. That brings Bayley down, who wasn't going to cash in. Didn't seem like she even wanted to cash in. And it was only because she found herself in the situation where she had managed to fight off Lacey, fight off Charlotte. Charlotte was still down and out. And then we get the moment of the night for me. The moment of the night. Bayley cashes in. I suppose in a way a little bit of disappointment because I think a lot of people thought we were going to get longer reigns, like the women and the men going around with the briefcases. We had Alexa cash in on the same night last year. So to have someone do it again, I get that that's disappointing. But it's still a great moment. I suppose in a way it doesn't matter when it happens. It happened. She cashed in and she was successful. I didn't think she was going to be. Charlotte had already been down and out for quite a while. And then Bayley going up top, dropping that elbow. It connects. 1, 2, 3. And then she goes crazy, man. Celebrating in the crowd. It's brilliant. It was really, really good. So that, I don't know how long those two matches took. And then Bayley coming down. But the Becky Lacey Evans, the Becky Charlotte Flair, the Bayley cashing in. I just loved all of it. None of it I thought was poor. It was a real highlight, actually, of the night. Some great storytelling. Becky really carrying those segments, so I've got to give her a lot of respect. Lacey, I thought, did a great job. Charlotte, great as ever. Bayley, now a champion. Some big ticks all round here. I really, really enjoyed it. We also got Lucha House Party, who apparently were going to have a 6-man tag match. But Lars Sullivan came out, destroyed them all. Even got like a cut on his head. Blood coming down. And he even like wiped it, looked at it, wiped it on his chest as well. They have got an absolute monster in Lars Sullivan. And yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how his character develops. The other talking point, Braun Strowman was sent home because Sami Zayn was found hanging by his legs backstage. He was out of the ladder match. We still never got an answer as to who that was. Braun Strowman claimed that it wasn't him. And Brock Lesnar hasn't claimed that it was him yet. Maybe it was. Brock Lesnar is probably the favourite to have attacked Sami Zayn. And then obviously claimed his spot, as we will talk about in a second. But yeah, who knows? It could have been Bray Wyatt. It could be Jon Moxley. We don't know. I feel like it probably was. It probably was Brock Lesnar, because Braun seemed to be quite adamant he had nothing to do with it. But then, yeah, that brings us to the men's Money in the Bank match. This was the final match of the evening. And it was a great match. Really was a great match. Finn Bálor took some of the worst bumps I have ever seen. There was the one where I think it was Andrade did a bit of a sunset flip over into a powerbomb. Powerbombed Finn down onto a ladder. The impact was that hard. Finn Bálor bounced off the ladder. Got some air time. It was crazy. And there was a few spots like that Finn Bálor had to go through. I think Ali went through a table. You could see him at the end. Some nasty cut all round his mouth. Blood everywhere. There was some brutal spots in this. It was a great match. Great way to finish the show. And let's talk about, I think, the big grumble that people are going to have. That out of nowhere, Brock Lesnar's music hit. And out he came. And it's Brock Lesnar that won a match he was never in. And a lot of people were done with Brock. Didn't want anything to do with Brock. But I'm a fan of Brock. I feel like he is legit. I feel like Brock Lesnar is someone that you can totally believe in. He brings a lot of legitimacy to WWE. He's a former UFC heavyweight champion. He looks the part. I think people don't like him because he doesn't defend the title as much as he should. But saying that, he's a heel. He's a heel. So if he can get away with it, then he's going to try and get away with it. And Vince McMahon has been happy for him to get away with it. So he's a heel doing heel things. And I honestly think it works better. And I said this on the live stream. My feeling on this. Is Brock Lesnar winning the men's Money in the Bank a perfect outcome? No. Is it an outcome that I would choose? No, it's not, right? But do I think it's an outcome that's a disaster? No, not at all. I don't think it's a disaster. And the reason I say that is because Brock doesn't appear on all of the shows. I think he could cash in at any point. I think it's going to be a surprise. I think that he is a name that everyone knows. You know, you could have anything happen. over the next 12 months. Like, you could have Andrade win the title. Maybe Ali finally wins the title. Let's say WrestleMania next year. I don't know how it's going to play out, but say Ali wins the title and he's got his moment. He's just, he's been through absolute hell. And then Brock Lesnar's music hits. Money in the Bank holder, Brock Lesnar on his way down to the ring. You're going to be gutted for Ali. And that's exactly how you should feel. Because now he's got to have a match at the worst time against Brock Lesnar. You got to think about ratings. You got to think about the fact that he's a known personality to casual fans. There's people out there that don't know a great deal about wrestling. They just jump in every now and again. Well, everyone knows Brock Lesnar. And they need all the help they can get with ratings at the moment. The other thing as well, I really feel like it works better when a heel has the Money in the Bank, because they come down and cash in at the worst times. Like, faces can't really do that. I know Bayley got away with it today, but normally they can't do that. Normally they can't come down and take advantage. And in fact, Bayley didn't really take advantage. She didn't come down with that intention. She just found herself in that situation where the champion was down and out. And she's like, well, I've got the briefcase. She's not moving. I might as well. And that's how she did it. But I don't believe she came down with the intention of cashing in. Brock Lesnar will. Brock Lesnar absolutely is going to come down with that intention. So I just feel like it works better when it's a heel. And in the live stream, I was saying, okay, if we agree that it works better when a heel cashes in, what heel would you prefer to have won it instead of Brock Lesnar? Would you have preferred Baron Corbin? I'm guessing not. Would you have preferred Drew McIntyre? Some people might, but I don't think he's that much of an improvement. I gotta be honest, I haven't been that impressed with Drew McIntyre. So, yeah, I feel like Drew is someone that could win the title anyway. I think he would have been a good option for Money in the Bank, but is he that much better than Brock Lesnar? And again, you got to think about the ratings. You got to think about the fact that Brock Lesnar is a known name. The fact they're moving over to Fox. There's every chance that Brock's got that briefcase when they move to Fox. So I really feel like, looking at the landscape, would it have been better if it was Randy Orton? No, I really don't think people still would have been happy with that. I feel like Andrade would have been a good option. But again, he's not a well-known name, so it doesn't tick that box. As well as that, the thing with Andrade, he's about to start a feud with Finn Bálor. And also, maybe he's not quite ready yet. Maybe they want him to have a run with the IC title first. Maybe he's going to get the better of Finn Bálor, have an Intercontinental Championship run. Then they'll look and go, right, is he the person that can carry this company? You got to remember, that's what the champion does. The champion is the face of the company. And so, is Andrade at that level yet? Maybe not. Is Ali at that level yet? Maybe not. So, you kind of have to look at the heels, and you have to go, right, out of the heels, out of the people in that match, would I want Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, Randy Orton, or actually was Brock Lesnar an all-right option? And that's how it falls for me. That's how I look at it. Is it perfect? No. Do I think it's a disaster? No. Has it ruined the show for me? No. I'm quite happy. That brings us to the overall rating, and let me know. I would love to know in the chat right now, what do you score this? What do you score this? Because I'm very interested. We just asked this on the live stream, and we got quite a wide variety of answers. I honestly feel like this is, I want to say something like an 8.8 or something along those lines. It's not a 10. This was not a perfect show. I'm not getting carried away here. Even a 9 might feel a little bit high, but I'm feeling an 8, and I feel like 8 is too low. I'm going to settle. I'm going to settle with an 8.5. I'm going to say this was an 8.5. I don't know really what I would change. I don't know if I would change much from tonight. Maybe, I mean, like, I'm sitting here going, maybe a big surprise would have been good, but you've just had Brock Lesnar come back. I mean, I know he's not been away for too long. Maybe Bray Wyatt appearance would have been cool, or maybe Jon Moxley. And it feels like Jon Moxley might be going to AEW, but I don't know. It wouldn't have surprised me if WWE had hit the reset on him and all of this was a big work and he was going to appear tonight as Jon Moxley, as this new character. So we didn't get that. We didn't get Bray Wyatt. Someone attacked Sami Zayn and we still haven't had an answer yet. Could you imagine if Brock Lesnar turns around tomorrow and says, I don't know anything about that? Braun saying it wasn't him. Brock saying it wasn't him. Well, who was it? Maybe we find out tomorrow, as well as what that new championship is as well. So, yeah, just to kind of finish off my point there, 8.5, I don't know what I would change. I'm struggling to know what I would change, but I'm just going with my gut feeling, and that was that it wasn't a perfect show, so I can't give it a 10. What would I change? Honestly, what would I change? I don't know what I would change. I was that impressed with it. I thought the booking was good. I thought there was some fantastic matches. Money in the Bank matches delivered. We even got a cash in. I thought the Brock surprise was good. I thought the Roman Elias booking was clever. Miz Shane in a steel cage was good. Maybe the Samoa Joe, Rey Mysterio match was a bit... Bryan and Rowan and the Usos was fine, and that was on the pre-show anyway. Tony Nese, Daivari I thought was good. Hey, look, I'm going to stick with 8.5, but if people have gone higher, I'm not going to argue. If people have gone a touch lower, I'm not going to argue. I think if people are saying it's a 6 point something, then 6.5 or below, or anything 6 and below, I think that's too low. For me, this is at least a 7. At least a 7, but I've gone with an 8.5, so... There we go then, guys. That's my thoughts. Thanks a lot for joining us. I just wanted to get this quick review video up. Again, I haven't looked at Twitter. No idea what people are saying. My gut feeling is saying people are going to be unhappy about Brock because you already know people hate Brock, but I just urge that you look at it and think to yourself, with Fox, with that move, they need a name to carry this briefcase. It needs to be a heel. Look at the heels. What do you do? What options did you have? I feel like Brock Lesnar's probably the best option, so it is what it is. Awesome, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Really do appreciate the support. Thank you if you watched our live stream as well. If you didn't, check it out. Check it out. It is on the channel. It's got all of my thoughts, all of my reactions to everything, and it's really easy to jump from match to match because there's a little box on screen that shows you what match we were watching at whatever time. So just find what match is on in the box that you want the reaction to, and boom, there you go. We're back again later for Raw. Smash that like, smash that subscribe. Don't miss that Raw live stream on our channel because new title is coming. Brock Lesnar is sure to be on Raw. Hopefully we're going to get answers and a new Firefly Funhouse episode. It is going to be awesome. Thanks for watching, guys, and hopefully I'll see you later. Bye for now.